大家好，欢迎回来我们的频道，我是 Johnny.
And I'm Laura, and today's video is all about afternoon tea.
Now, you might think that afternoon tea is just tea that you drink in the afternoon. And if you do think that, you'd only be partially right.
So we couldn't teach you about afternoon tea without a visual. So that obviously meant that for educational purposes, we had to go and experience afternoon tea.
Laura, 我们今天要去哪里?
We're going to Betty's.
Why is it we've chosen Betty's for our afternoon tea?
Because there is no other choice. It's Betty's or nowhere.
Yeah, I mean, in Yorkshire, Betty's is the famous place for afternoon tea.
Betty's is, so our closest city is York, and it's very famous. So Betty's is incredibly famous as the place to go for very, very British service, and the afternoon tea is chef's kisses.
You might be interested to know that afternoon tea is not actually a type of tea at all. Afternoon tea actually refers to a meal that you have between meals to keep you going.
Yes. So historically, afternoon tea would have been eaten in between lunch and the evening meal at dinner time. So it was to keep people going in between lunch at 12 and 8 o'clock.
Yeah, so you'd normally have it around 4 p.m-ish, around that sort of time. Afternoon tea is not actually a reference to tea, the drink. So technically, when you have afternoon tea, you don't really need to drink tea. You can drink coffee or any other drink that you want instead.
Absolutely. So what is this meal that we call afternoon tea?
Well, if you're imagining in your head right now a 3-tiered cake stand, you're probably on the right track.
So what we've noticed is that outside of the UK, often what we would call an afternoon tea, other places, especially in America, they use the term high tea. Now, high tea is something that comes from the UK, but the two are not the same at all.
No.
So we only have the 3-tiered cake stand for afternoon tea.
Yeah, the thing that people do though is they get the wrong things on that cake stand.
Yeah, so I think in a lot of countries it's called a cake stand, so I think a lot of places have run with the idea that cake should appear on the cake stand, which is a fair assessment, you would assume that, but not for an afternoon tea.
And yes, not on every layer at least anyway. I mean, I like cake, but I mean 3 tiers of cake. That's 3 whole plates of cake. I
would be really disappointed. I know that sounds really silly to say because it's cake, but that's not an afternoon tea.
It's not an afternoon tea, no, because it's actually quite specific, isn't it? What you need to have on each layer of your cake stand for an afternoon tea. So do you want to tell everyone what should be on an afternoon tea cake stand?
On the bottom tier, there should be a selection of sandwiches. On the middle tier, there should be scones with clotted cream and jam. And on the top tier, that's where you would see cakes, particularly really small ones.
So let's break that down a little bit further. What sort of sandwiches do you get on the bottom tier of your cake stand?
Tasty ones. Usually the classic cucumber with some sort of cream cheese.
Yeah.
Always. There's usually chicken, ham, and some sort of fish, which is usually salmon.
Yeah. So tell us again, what was on that second layer?
Scones, clotted cream, and jam.
Right. I think most people know what a scone is already, and most people know cream and jam, but what is clotted cream specifically? Because that's the kind of important part of it being an afternoon tea, is having the clotted cream.
It's really thick, like really thick cream. So thick you could literally stand a spoon up in it.
Yeah.
It's that thick.
Yeah.
And it doesn't spread. It just kind of...
It doesn't spread easily, does it? You have to...
dollops.
Yeah. You take it out with a spoon, don't you, rather than with a knife, and then you spoon it onto your scone and then spread it with the knife.
So good.
My question to you, which way do you fall? Are you a clotted cream first or a jam first?
I always put the cream on first.
And I do the same. Yeah.
I think it looks nicer.
I think it looks nicer, and personally I find it more effective because my reasoning for this.
I have no reasoning, I just like the way it looks.
You put the clotted cream on and it's difficult to spread, right? If you have the jam on first and you try spreading the clotted cream, you just get the jam everywhere.
That's true.
If you put the clotted cream on first, you've done the difficult job.
Yes.
Then you can just lightly spread the jam over the top of that and you end up with something that looks attractive rather than a mess of cream and jam.
I mean, it all goes down the same way, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it's not going to affect the flavour at all, is it?
No, it will all taste good.
On to the final tier, and this is the one that people probably
know the most,
yeah,
but we care about the least.
Yes.
I'd say.
Yes.
So this is the one that is the least set across the country. So you will get different things on the top tier from every place that you go, and if you go to the same place multiple times a year, it will change. It's the one that they will rotate for things that are more seasonal.
Yeah, and that's because most places that serve afternoon tea will have a patisserie chef of some sort. This is their chance to show off their skills, and they will do lots of very fancy, very small, very delicious cakes to go on the top of your afternoon tea cake stand.
Yes.
So that's afternoon tea. And if you want any more information about afternoon tea or anything else to do with British culture, then you might be interested in checking out our course that we've just made with Jella.
And we'll put a link down in the description box below.
下次见.
Bye-bye.